Hello there, my name is Miriam Mwangi. I'm the Family Life Coordinator for the Archdiocese of Nairobi. The Family Life Office is an office under the Pastoral Department. The Pastoral Department is headed by Father Wallace Nganga, who is the Archdiocesan Pastoral Coordinator. So how did this office come about? This office is actually a vision of His Eminence John Cardinal Njue, who felt that we needed an office that helped boost family life, helped boost marriages, helped boost parenting within the families. Why did he feel that? He felt that because family is the building block of society. It's the most important building block of society. If the family crumbles, the society crumbles, and the nation crumbles. So as you can see, family life is not just something to walk by, it's something to be built. And this is what this office does. We are actually here to help build and boost families. In this office, we have programs that help boost families. We teach natural family planning, which is advocated by the Catholic Church. We teach we teach programs in marriage. We also help boost in premarital counseling. We've actually come up with a premarital counseling manual, which will help standardize premarital counseling in all the parishes of Nairobi. We also have workshops that cater for the needs of families, and these workshops are held bi-monthly. Also, they're held in parishes on request every other day, every other time. We're in parishes doing workshops on marriages and on family life on request. As you can see now, during this time of the corona pandemic, we are not able to go to parishes to do these workshops. We're not able to actually host workshops even here at Holy Family Basilica because of the social distancing rule. And we deliberated with Father Wallace and with Father Kamamor, who is the Family Life Chaplain, what can we do to continue boosting our families if we're not able to take these workshops to them. And we felt that it would be great for us to come up with virtual programs that actually discuss different issues and various topics within the family life context. And that is what we're doing. That's why we're here to launch this family forum. We're calling this program the Family Forum, where we'll be discussing just issues. Sometimes it's even good if you viewers and listeners would send topics in advance of things that you would want us to talk about. In these programs, we'll be bringing in experts. Sometimes it will be me talking. Sometimes it will be me bringing in experts to discuss different topics and different issues that are plaguing our families right now and what we can do to enhance our families. So without much further ado, I would like to welcome you to today's program on the Family Forum. And today we'll be discussing just family. What is family? And in discussing the family, I will be bringing up the fundamental principles of the family. What are the principles that the family is built on? A family is an institution where a man and a woman come together in marriage, in holy matrimony, to bring up children, to procreate and bring up these children in a godly way. Why did I emphasize on the man and the woman? Because right now we have an attack on the family where different setups are being brought up to be called a family, where you find two men are coming together and in some countries are being allowed to adopt children to form what they're calling a family, but that would not be called a family. A family, I must specify, is when a man and a woman come together and procreate for purposes of starting that family. So what are these principles, fundamental principles for a family? The first one is that the family is the foundational unit of reproduction. It's the foundational unit of reproduction. So what does that mean? It is a unit where a man and a woman come together, like I said before, to procreate, to come up with children and bring up those children in one unit, in a loving way, educating them to being godly people with the right moral values. So that is one of the principles of what the family is. The second fundamental principle of the family is that the family is a prototype of society. Yeah, the family is a prototype of society. What does that mean? That means What a family looks like is exactly what the society is going to look like. So if the family unit is ailing, then the society definitely will be ailing, because we cannot take to society what is not within the family. As you look in our society right now, the society is ailing. So that is a huge sign of danger within the family, that the family unit is in fact getting eroded and is deteriorating. So we need to safeguard our families to safeguard our society. If you see a lot of mayhem out there in society, it only means that there's something wrong within the family unit, and we'll come to discuss that further as we discuss in these programs of the Family Forum. The third fundamental principle of the family is that society is only as strong as our family. This is very much related to the previous principle that I've talked about. Society is only as strong as our family. Family is the key to the strength of society. So if you break up families, if you do not safeguard families, there is no way society is going to stand. And if the society does not stand, there's no way our nation is going to stand. So we cannot be complaining that there's a lot of mayhem and a lot of mishaps out there in our country and out there in our society without looking into our families. We need to go back to the foundational unit of the society to remedy our society. The fourth fundamental principle of the family is that society, again, this is related to the other two principles. Society is the reflection of the family. What society looks like is a clear indication of what is happening in our families. You cannot produce a nation better than your families. If there's corruption in this country, it must have started somewhere. It has started within our families. Children learn from the family. If there's discrimination and tribalism in this country, it has started from the families. I put it to you, when you give birth to children, they come into this world completely pure, completely, they are a clean slate, nothing written on them. They only get to learn what they know from what they get from the family, from what they get from the parents. So if they see their parents behaving in a particular way, that is how those children are going to behave. In fact, family is slated to be the first school. That's where the child learns. That's where the child learns their values. That's where the child learns their principle. That's where their character and personality is developed. So if those two people who have been tasked to be the custodians of those children are ailing in some sort of way, in some sort of defective way, then that's what those children are going to inculcate, and that's what they're going to take out into society. Another principle, moving on, is that family is a collection of nation, and alternatively, the nation is a collection of families. So what we call a nation is many families coming together to form that nation. So those mini families go out there to build a nation. So they will not build a nation out of nothingness. A nation is built out of those families, out of the behaviors of those families, out of the mechanisms of those families, out of the moral values of those families. So that is what that is put out in the nations. And I also put it to you, leaders come from families, teachers come from families, doctors come from families, and they come out to the nation with the values that they developed from those families. So as you can see, it's very important to safeguard our families, what we're teaching our families, what our children are being taught in the families, what moral values are they getting from these families, because those are the moral values that are going to be taken out into society. The sixth foundational unit of the family is the purpose of the family is to secure society. God created the family to protect society. As you can see, the family is just not just something that exists just to exist. It's a fundamental unit of what society is. So when you focus on the family, you automatically focus and strengthen on the society. As you can see right now, we're in the times where we are trying to fight the reproduction health bill. This is one of the reasons why we are fighting that bill, which we'll be discussing next time in our next session. We are fighting these bills that are out there to destroy the family, because we know that if you destroy the family, you have indeed destroyed the society and the future of this nation. The seventh foundational unit of the family is the sanity of the family is the bedrock of human survival. If you disintegrate families, then really the world stops existing. Right now there's this agenda of men and men coming together to form a unit, because I wouldn't call it a family. And then you find these men are adopting children. But I ask you this pertinent question: can a man and a man procreate? No. Can a woman and a woman procreate? Definitely not. God in his wisdom knew that when a man and a woman come together, the chemistry and the biology of their bodies will result into an offspring. He had that wisdom in him, and that is the wisdom he put within the families, that when a man and a woman come together, they reproduce. But when a man and a man come together, they cannot reproduce. When a woman and a woman come together, they cannot reproduce. So what are we saying? That human survival is in danger. How will we continue to escalate and bring new generations into the world if we promote such things? So that's why we have to safeguard what the family is as it is right now. The seventh foundational unit: family is not the product of the state. I repeat, family is not the product of the state. So what this means is the government cannot produce the family. It cannot produce the family. Therefore, the government should not be the one controlling our families. And I say that without any fear. What do I mean by that? As parents, as families, we should not delegate our responsibilities of education, what our kids need to be learning, to the government. Right now, in this reproductive health bill, there's what they're calling the comprehensive sex education. You as parents, have you looked into that comprehensive sex education to know what exactly your children will be taught? If you don't, then you're delegating it to the government for them to decide this is okay to teach our children. And as I repeat, family is not the product of the state. Family is the product of God. He's the one who came up with the family. So what, are you teaching your children godly things, or are you letting the government teach them what they think is right? Again, the responsibility to discipline your children does not come from the government. It is God-given. Even the Bible is written, spare the rod and you spoil the child. What does that mean? If you do not focus on disciplining your own children and leave it for the state to do it, then do not come up and say, Serikali's idea, when things have gone wrong. This should have been your responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the state for them to parent your children. It is your God-given responsibility. It is your mandate as a parent to parent those children that God has given you as their custodian. It is also the responsibility of you parents and not of the state to direct your children on the way they need to go. Where are they getting their moral background from? Who is teaching your children? What your children know, do they know it from you? Are they learning it from their peers? Are they learning it from the government? Are they learning it from the media? Where are they learning it from? Who is the moral authority for your children? Is it the state, or is it you as the parent? Remember, you are the first school for your children. You are the first foundational ground for your children. If you're seeing something wrong with our children right now, it must have come from somewhere. Right now there's a debate of all these girls who have gotten pregnant. I'm sorry, but I have to ask, where were the parents? Who are parenting these children? Did you know who your children are engaged with? Do you know where your children spend time? Do you know what your children needs are? Do your children have a space where they can come and freely talk to you, ask questions about their sexuality, about the issues that are disturbing them? Or have you left them to the state? Have you left them to the schools? Have you left them to their teachers? It is your moral obligation as a parent to teach those children in the way that you want them to go. When we look at your children, we should see a replica of you as the parent. So what are we seeing in your children right now? Is it a replica of you? Is it the replica of the state? Is it the replica of their teachers? Or is it the replica of their peers? Let's talk. These are things that we need to talk openly and candidly, because if we don't discuss them, then we are facing the extinction of the family as we know it. The government is, and this is important, the government is only as good as the family that produces them. Because these leaders, be it leaders in organizations, be it leaders in the national government or wherever, they come from families. They were brought up in families. Values are learnt in families. Like I said earlier, racism is just not learnt. Discrimination is just not learnt. Bad behavior is just does not crop up from somewhere. It came from somewhere. It came from a learned behavior. Anger issues come up from somewhere, from family. Abuse comes from family. It is learned from somewhere. Moral authority and values come from the family. Moral authority and values come from the family. So what are we teaching our kids in the family? What are they going to take out there to form the society? And are we going to get surprised with the kind of society we have right now if you, within your own family, you're not able to have a deep moral authority? Moving on to the 8th foundational unit of the family. Dissolution of the family is a dissolution of the states. That is, if you destroy the family, you destroy the state. If you destroy the family, you destroy the state. I repeat again, a state or a nation is only as strong as their families. I learned something very interesting. In the Jewish culture, family comes even before the state. They know that if you safeguard the family, you will not have a problem with the state, because from those families is where future leaders are coming from. From those families is where future CEOs are coming from. From those families is where future teachers are coming from. From those families is where future doctors are coming from. So heal the family and you automatically heal the nation. Disintegrate the family and you automatically disintegrate the nation. So as you can see, this office has a lot of work cut out for it, because our job is to educate you on the importance of the family, to educate you on the things that are happening currently about the family. And that is why we felt that this would be a good introductory message as we discuss next week on this reproductive health bill, just to inform you what it is talking about and how, God forbid, if it goes through, how it will affect the family as we know it, especially in terms of our children. So without saying very much, I thank you so much for tuning in, and I thank you so much for being part of this family forum. Let's keep it going. These programs are for you to enrich our families, to enrich our knowledge about our families and other issues that involve the family, including marriage and parenting. I thank you so much for taking the time to be part of us. Until next time, I'm yours truly, Miriam Mwangi, and this is the Family Forum. Thank you.